Yo, what's good, guys? I know it's been a long time. I don't even know how long, maybe 2 years. But today I wanted to do a little throwback, and since I've been getting back into Theme Park Tycoon 2, I kind of got the urge to throw it back all the way to when I started the channel and make a tutorial video on how to make smooth roller coasters in Theme Park Tycoon 2. I have almost 8 years of experience in this game. I love building roller coasters. I love roller coasters. I used to be a nerd about them. That's the reason I started playing this game. But anyway, hey, before we even start building the roller coaster, make sure you're using the right one. For example, the multi-launch is my personal favorite. It is a lot of people's personal favorite because it is the most well-rounded and diverse roller coaster, and it was one of the many that were updated. You always want to use updated roller coasters in this game, such as the recently updated Extreme Launch, Single Rail, let's see here, Launch Spinning Coaster, Hydraulic Launch. Hybrid Coaster's always been good, but that looks pretty nice too. I'm pretty sure that got updated. This is a new ride, I think, but that's obviously updated if it's new. Spinning Coaster also got updated. All these updated coasters are the smoothest in the game. In my opinion, the multi-launch is the smoothest, but that might just be a bias. Anyway, when we're building our coaster, you want to have it around 3 to 5 feet or 3 to 5 blocks in the air. That's just the standard. But yeah, just off rip. Make sure you build your station segments. Build it like decently long, depending on how many coasters or how many carts you want on your roller coaster. Obviously, I'm gonna have around this much because I want to have 4 carts on mine. And we're gonna always use the advanced editor, not the basic editor. This editor is shit. Use the advanced editor, please. I'm tired of seeing y'all spaghetti parks. It just it makes me sick looking at them. You know, this game's been out forever and people are still making spaghetti parks. We're also gonna want to make sure by clicking the star, the roll smoothing is on smooth continuous. This feature came out pretty recently. It is actually one of the more important steps in building a roller coaster. You always want to make sure that's turned on. You don't really need to know how it works. Just know it's in the background, making your coaster 10 times smoother than it usually would be. So we're gonna make sure that's turned on. Pivot offset. So this is, I usually have it at around 2.4 to 3. I think that's the best range, 2.4 to 2.8. As you can see, this movement thing is a little higher than it usually is. You see, if I reset it, it goes back to the middle, and the more I move this, the more it moves up. So this, you want to have it where you want to imagine somebody riding the roller coaster where their chest would be when they're riding the roller coaster. This is where you want your pivot point and pivot offset to be. So as you can see, if I use this blue turner here to create a bank, instead of it just going around the middle of the track, you want to have it at around this to make it go around where the heart would be of the person around the track. So if I move this out here with the arrow, move this back down with the red stick, we can see it goes around the exact middle of here, which makes it a lot smoother for if you're on the ride viewing it. And this is probably one of the most important things that I see a lot of players use or not use, that makes the roller coasters a lot less smoother than they could actually be. So this you always want to have around here. Hi, so this is editing me here, and really quick, I just want to go into a little bit more detail on the banking offset and how I do it. So if you look at this image right here I have up, this green part is the track. That centerpiece is the node where the heart line roll would usually be. In the game, I like to have it a little bit lower because when you're in the actual ride camera, the ride camera comes out the front of the front car. So that would be here and not up to where the person's heart would be. And as you can see, this is a good representation of how the roll would look like if you're going from that heartline roll. So you would stay here while the track moves around you. All right, now back to the video. Auto smooth, you usually want to have this on full. There is a couple of circumstances where you can turn it completely off, and that's if you want to have a dip where you only want to use one track piece. It's hard to explain the situations you would use this in, but you just have to practice using it sometimes, and it comes in handy a lot when making certain drops or like airtime hills even. But if I turn this on, I can show you guys. So with the normal smoothness, you can see it turns the whole track just like that. If I go like left to right, it turns the whole track just like that. But if I turn this on, you can see the way it turns the track is like that. So actually, let me show you guys an example of where you would use this, because this is kind of an important step that I see a lot of people not using, but is a very helpful tool in the advanced editor. Say I want to have this long piece and I want to have it turn. I want to have it turn like this out of the station with like a little drop. So obviously that's not going to work with one piece, but I can make this work with one piece. If I go click off here, or go back up to full, move this straight, make sure I have my banking and the turn I want already ready. I click off, I make this go back to the center, I go make this go down, and it will keep the weight. You see how this is like straight, horizontal? Instead of it pointing directly down like this, it's going to keep the straightness like that. So now you have that turn in only one piece. You have a little drop here, and you can see visually that this is a very smooth piece of track. And also down in the comments, let me know if I missed anything important, or if I should make an updated, more advanced tutorial, or even one where I build along with you guys and give you tips along the way, because doing that would give me the most opportunities to explain like actual situations to you guys when building, so it can help you in the long run. So let me know if you guys want to see that. So that's like really it for like an advanced editor tutorial. That's all you really need to know. So actually, for you guys, I'm gonna create a little time lapse of me building a multi-launch coaster if you guys want to see that. So off rip here, I'm gonna start with a little pre-run going into the launch section that I'm gonna make, doing some wave turns, some mini airtime hills, whatever I can really fit in this little spot. But yeah, we're gonna go into the first airtime hill, which is actually gonna be a part of the launch, and then into a second launch. So one really important thing that I forgot to mention earlier on is to look at how long I'm taking to place each piece. I'm making sure each piece is intricately placed the right way, so when you're riding it, it's gonna feel as smooth as possible. You want to take your time and put a lot of effort into each piece and section of track that you make, and it will come out good. I mean, you might have to make a few edits in the end, but it will come out good. Usually what I do, and what I think is the most helpful thing when building, you always want to imagine yourself on the ride. When you're building each piece, you want to imagine the speed you would have going into that certain element. You want to imagine the forces you would feel, the G-forces on your body that you would feel, and that is really helpful, and it kind of just comes with experience in building rides. And I also go on a lot of roller coasters, so that is kind of integrated in my head, but that is a very important thing that I do all the time, and it is just so helpful in figuring out how the ride is going to go without even testing it. Although I would recommend testing it a bunch of times so you don't have to go back in and re-delete and edit a bunch of pieces, which is what I actually ended up having to do. As you can see here, I had to edit a bunch of spots in the track because I wanted to finish it as fast as possible. You know, it's a coaster for tutorial. I wanted to just get it done, and it kind of ended up kicking me in the ass in the end, because I had to redo like every single part. And you know, that's a part of the process. It is the most tedious part and probably the worst part about building roller coasters, but if you want a smooth ride, that's how you gotta do it. You gotta go back in and edit it and make sure everything's perfect. But yeah, in the end, I low-key hated the hell out of this ride. It was definitely probably not my worst ride that I've made, but in like the past like year, 2 years, it's pretty bad. But right now, I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. And yeah,